On March 22, 2025, Houston rapper Sauce Walka and his artist Sayso P arrived in Memphis, expecting just another day of living the high life. To them, it was just another city, another stage, another chance to flaunt their success. And they didn't hold back. Stacks of cash and diamond-studded chains sparkled before the camera, luxury dripping from every frame of their social media feeds. They were living proof that they had made it. But what they didn't know was that danger was just around the corner, watching. What they saw as a celebration of success turned into a mistake that would change everything. This is the story of how fame, fortune, and one bad decision led to tragedy. Houston has always been a city where new rap stars are born, and Sauce Walka is one of the most famous names to come from there. His real name is Albert Mondane, and he grew up in some of the tougher neighborhoods of Houston. For him, music wasn't just something to listen to, it was a way to escape the struggles around him and tell his own story. Even as a kid, Albert loved performing. He looked up to local rap legends, who used their lyrics to talk about life on the streets. Those powerful stories made a big impact on him, and it wasn't long before he started creating his own. As a teenager, Albert Mondane was surrounded by the hustle of Houston's streets, but his love for music always came first. Back then, he was known as AWOC, and was part of a group called Mafia, but everything changed when he joined forces with another rapper, Sauce. Together, they became Sauce Twins, a duo full of energy, bold lyrics, and a style that couldn't be ignored. It didn't take long for them to become local stars. Sauce Walka stood out because he wasn't just rapping, he had a personality that filled the room. His lyrics were raw, his energy was electric, and he brought something new to the scene. In the mid-2010s, he helped popularize the term drip, which became a symbol of flashy style, confidence, and living large. With his growing fame, Sauce Walka decided to help other artists rise too. He started the Sauce Factory, TSF, an independent label that gave young Houston artists a chance to shine. One of those artists was Latorian Hunt, known as Sayso P. Like Sauce Walka, Sayso P grew up in Houston, not far from where Albert started his journey. His childhood was tough, filled with the same struggles many young men in the city faced. But just like Sauce Walka, Sayso P found a way out through music. It became his escape, a way to express himself and rise above the challenges around him. Sayso P had a style that stood out, a mix of honest storytelling and smooth, confident delivery. It didn't take long for Sauce Walka to notice his talent. They met through mutual friends in Houston's rap scene, both driven by the same hunger for success. Sauce Walka saw something special in Sayso P, not just another rapper, but a voice that could speak to the streets. He decided to take Sayso P under his wing, helping him improve his skills and promoting his music through his label, the Sauce Factory, TSF. It wasn't just about business, it became a true partnership. As Sayso P's music started to gain attention, the two became more than just collaborators, they became close friends. But just when it seemed like nothing could stop them, something unexpected was about to tear their friendship apart. In March 2025, Sauce Walka and Sayso P traveled to Memphis, Tennessee. It wasn't unusual for them to be on the move. They were known for taking their hustle on the road, performing, promoting, and connecting with fans. The reason behind this specific trip wasn't publicly disclosed, but it likely involved business opportunities or a performance. After touching down in Memphis, they checked into the Westin Hotel near the FedEx Forum. It was broad daylight, a time when the city was bustling with people and activity. Hours after their arrival, as they stood outside the hotel, everything changed. Out of nowhere, a white four-door vehicle pulled up. Witnesses recall how the doors swung open and multiple men emerged, firing shots in the direction of the rappers. It all happened so fast. One moment, the two were standing together, likely discussing their plans, and the next, chaos erupted. Sayso P, just 27 years old, was pronounced at the scene. The promising artist, who had only begun to make a name for himself, was gone in an instant. Sauce Walka, hit in the leg, managed to survive, but the emotional impact was just as devastating as the physical wound. The pain of losing his friend and protege would prove to be far deeper than any wound. When the fire ceased outside the Westin Hotel in downtown Memphis, the tragic reality began to sink in. Sayso P was gone, and Sauce Walka was wounded. Police quickly arrived at the chaotic scene, cordoning off the area while witnesses tried to make sense of what had just unfolded. Detectives from the Memphis Police Department immediately launched an investigation. They combed through surveillance footage from nearby businesses, interviewed witnesses, and gathered evidence from the crime scene. The goal was clear: find out who was behind the brazen daylight attack that left one man and another injured. It wasn't long before they got their first break. Footage showed a white four-door vehicle speeding away from the scene moments after the Witnesses described multiple assailants emerging from the car, shots, and then fleeing. The video evidence was crucial, but it was the relentless work of investigators that eventually led to the identification of two key suspects, Jaden Dandridge and Kevin Brown. Jaden Dandridge was just 21 years old, while Kevin Brown was 22. Both had prior run-ins with the law, making them known figures to local authorities. Investigators dug into their backgrounds, looking for connections that might explain why they targeted Sauce Walka and Sayso P. As the investigation gained traction, news broke that Dandridge had been found in Houston. His body was discovered in late March, just weeks after the Memphis. The circumstances of his were shrouded in mystery. Some speculated it was an act of retaliation, while others wondered if it was linked to unrelated criminal activity. Police did not immediately confirm the cause of leaving a cloud of uncertainty over his demise. With Dandridge gone, Kevin Brown became the primary focus. The Memphis Police Department issued a warrant for his arrest, charging him with first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Authorities warned that Brown was considered armed and dangerous, urging anyone with information to come forward. Law enforcement agencies in both Memphis and Houston coordinated efforts to track him down, but Brown seemed to have vanished. Friends and associates were questioned, but no one seemed to know his whereabouts. The streets were tight-lipped, either out of fear or loyalty. As the manhunt dragged on, rumors began circulating on social media. Some speculated that Brown had skipped town, possibly fleeing to another state or even out of the country. Others suggested he was still in Houston, hiding among friends or in neighborhoods where outsiders would be less likely to look. Fans of Sauce Walka and Sayso P expressed their frustration online, calling for justice while mourning the loss of Sayso P. Many wondered why someone would want to harm two artists who had done so much to elevate Houston's music scene. As days turned into weeks, the pressure on law enforcement grew. The tragic nature of the crime, combined with the public's demand for answers, made finding Brown a top priority. Detectives continued to follow leads, but as time passed, their trail grew colder. With one suspect and the other still at large, the case remains unresolved, and the lack of a clear motive only fueled more questions. Was this a targeted attack over a personal feud, or was it linked to something deeper within the rap community? Speculations began swirling about why the two rap stars were targeted. While law enforcement has not officially confirmed a motive, several possible reasons have emerged based on the circumstances and the lifestyle the artists portrayed. One of the most discussed possibilities is related to the public display of wealth that both Sauce Walka and Sayso P were known for. Just hours before the attack, they were seen flaunting stacks of cash and showcasing their expensive jewelry on social media. Known for his vibrant, flamboyant style, Sauce Walka often used Instagram and other platforms to proudly display his success. His signature drip culture revolved around making a statement, showing the world that he had made it from the streets to stardom. That day in Memphis was no different. They were spotted outside the Westin Hotel, casually flashing their riches, diamond chains glinting in the sunlight, and money being counted as if it were just another day. To them, it was part of the brand, proof of the hard work that had paid off. To someone else, though, it could have been seen as an open invitation. In the world of hip-hop, projecting wealth has always been a part of the culture. It's a way of proving that despite the odds, success is achievable. Yet, this kind of display also comes with risks. Flashy jewelry and stacks of cash can make rappers easy targets, especially in unfamiliar cities. Memphis is known for its vibrant music scene, but it also has a reputation for violence, particularly when it comes to territorial disputes and street crime. Sauce Walka and Sayso P, being outsiders, might not have been fully aware of the potential danger. To some local criminals, seeing artists who weren't from the city flaunting wealth could have sparked resentment, or simply the desire to rob them. Social media only intensified the situation. Videos of Sauce Walka and Sayso P living lavishly reached hundreds of thousands of viewers within minutes. While most fans saw it as motivational, others might have viewed it differently. Those posts could have revealed their exact location, making it easy for someone to track their movements. The attack occurred just a few hours after the social media post surfaced, leading many to speculate that someone might have used the footage to pinpoint their whereabouts. Sauce Walka's lifestyle, while iconic, might have inadvertently made them vulnerable that day. Another theory revolves around jealousy and rivalry. Sauce Walka's rise to fame has not been without controversy. Over the years, he has had public feuds with other rappers, often involving heated exchanges and diss tracks. While nothing concrete ties any past beef to the Memphis, some speculate that old grudges could have resurfaced. Additionally, the rap industry is competitive, and sometimes the success of one artist can provoke anger or resentment among others who feel left behind. Sauce Walka, known for his unapologetic attitude and extravagant persona, might have unknowingly drawn negative attention from individuals who saw his success as a personal affront. Also, given Sauce Walka's reputation for being connected to Houston's underground rap scene, some speculated that the attack could have been gang-related. Although there's no concrete evidence linking the to any gang dispute, it's not uncommon for artists who come from rough neighborhoods to maintain ties with people from their past. Sometimes, associations made long before fame can linger, even as artists try to move beyond them. If the attackers were from Memphis, it's possible they saw Sauce Walka and Sayso P as rivals or threats, regardless of whether the rappers were involved in any local disputes. Law enforcement has not confirmed whether gang affiliation played a role, but the possibility is still being explored. The fact that both suspects, Jaden Dandridge and Kevin Brown, had prior criminal records suggests that they might have been connected to local street activity. One of the simplest and most tragic possibilities is that it was a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Westin Hotel is located near the FedEx Forum, a bustling area where tourists and locals frequently pass through. It's possible that Sauce Walka and Sayso P were spotted by individuals looking for an opportunity, and their flashy display of wealth sealed their fate. Sometimes, when a group of people with questionable intentions sees someone they perceive as vulnerable, the motive can simply be robbery. With their jewelry and money on full display, the rappers might have been seen as easy targets, especially by those who didn't care who they were or what they had accomplished. There were even theories suggesting that Sayso P owed a gang $200,000, and when he failed to make the payment, it triggered the attack. Despite all these theories, the exact motive behind the attack remains unclear. After the that left his protege, Sayso P, and Sauce Walka himself injured, the rapper stayed quiet for a few days. The shock of what had happened was hard to process. When Sauce Walka finally spoke out, his usual upbeat energy was gone. Instead, he spoke with a heavy heart and a reflective tone. In an interview, he shared his thoughts on the tragedy and what he had learned from it. Sauce Walka expressed deep regret, not just for the but for the choices he had made that led to that moment. He admitted that he had put himself in the wrong place at the wrong time, acknowledging that his lifestyle sometimes made him a target. His words were raw and honest, showing that he was struggling with guilt and sorrow. What surprised many people was his stance on revenge. In the rap world, where feuds often lead to more violence, Sauce Walka's response was unexpected. He made it clear that retaliation wasn't the answer. He knew that seeking revenge would only cause more pain and suffering. Instead, he focused on honoring Sayso P's memory in a more positive way. Fans and fellow artists praised his response, recognizing the maturity and growth in his words. Rather than fueling more violence, Sauce Walka wanted to break the cycle. He knew that retaliation would only lead to more loss, something he couldn't bear to witness again.